Good morning students, myself Abhishek Sharma from Mount Litra Z School Jhansi. Students, we are continuing with third chapter of statistics and today we are going to discuss different types of sampling. So in my previous lecture we have discussed sampling and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about sampling, types of sampling. So basically there are different types of sampling starting with random sampling. Random sampling is that method of sampling in which each and every item of the universe has equal chance of being selected in the sample. In other words, there is an equal probability for every items of the universe being selected in the sample. Second is purposive or deliberate sampling. Purposive sampling is that method in which the investigator himself makes the choices of the sample items which in his opinion are the best representative of the universe. Thus in this method of sampling, selection of the sample items is not left to the chance factors, it is simply made by the choices. Third is mixed sampling or stratified sampling. This method of sampling is generally adopted when populations consist of different groups with different characteristics. According to this method of sampling, population is divided into different strata having different features and some of the items are selected from each strata so that the entire population gets easily represented. Then comes systematic sampling. According to this method, units of the populations are numerically, geographically and alphabetically arranged. Every item of the numbered items is selected as a sample items. And the next is quota sampling. Quota sampling, in this method the population is divided into different groups or classes according to different features of the population. Some percentage of different groups in total population is fixed. Further, some quota of the items is to be selected as sample items is fixed for each group. The investigator selects the fixed number of items from each group of the frame of a sample. This method of sampling is not very expensive, but there is a high possibility of personal biasness at the time of selection of the items by the investigator. Now the last comes convenience sampling. In this method, sampling is done by the investigator in such a manner that suits his convenience. To illustrate, an investigator may select a sample of teachers merely by referring to the college prospectus. This method is the simplest and the least expensive, but quite unscientific and unreliable. It depends too much on the whims of the enumerators. Now, reliability of sampling data. The reliability of sampling data means that features of the universe are fully represented by the sample or not. It depends mainly upon the following features. Size of the sample. Reliability of sampling depends on the size of the sample. If the size is very small, it will not represent or reflect the entire features of the population. Method of sampling. As we discussed above, methods of sampling, you have to select which method is suitable for which type of investigation. Bias of the correspondent and enumerators. Personal bias of the correspondent and enumerator should be less as possible, otherwise reliability of the sampling data is bound to be suffer. Training of enumerators. Reliability of sample also depends upon the training of the investigator. If they are not trained to make them expert in their field of investigation, the sample will lack the reliability. So students, these were the some factors on which the reliability of sampling of data depends. Once again, I want to recall this. It is the sampling, size of the sample, then comes the method of the sampling, biasness of the correspondent and enumerators, and last, the most important is training of the enumerator. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.